All right, just checking my mic, making sure everything is. When I say checking my mic, checking my sound because I don't have my mic working right now. Sure, everything's. When I say checking my mic, checking my sound because I don't have my mic working right now. All right, all right. We are in. All right. What is up? What's up, everybody who is here? Oh my God, Hypnotic. What's up? Aren't you still live? Hey, Words of Paradise. Thank you for being here on time earlier than me. What's going on, everybody? So this is just a couple things. Just wanted to catch up, and of course, talk about the breaking news that just happened. The debt ceiling. Please excuse my sound. I'm still getting all the background stuff. What's up, Louisiana Sister Squad podcast? So I'm still getting all my technical stuff together, but we're just gonna go ahead and go right into everything. I hope everybody's having a good night, and let's go into the first breaking news. Um, I haven't gone live in a minute, and I feel rusty. I feel really rusty. So I hate that. That's why I like to do it, consecutive. Like I like to have a consistency of going live, but it's okay. Right. All right. So, hold on. I keep saying here we go.
The bill to avoid a catastrophic default on our nation's debt has now passed in the House of Representatives. The final vote was 314 to 117. That bill appears poised to head to the Senate, where senators face a very tight deadline to push the bill through and avoid sending the nation into an economic crisis.
We actually effectively have sent the nation into an economic crisis. That's why I love it. You know what I mean? I love how mainstream corporate media reports everything, and she's smiling. She's like, "Yeah, we did a good job. We're not going to go into an economic crisis." This is an economic crisis. They've raised the debt ceiling. They haven't made any type of provisions to it. McCarthy sold everybody out, like I knew he would eventually, but dang, I didn't think so early. And inflation, it's only about a second before them eggs that are $7, $8. They'll probably go up to about $10 soon. It's extraordinary, but I'm gonna let Byron Donalds explain like why he was saying that we should vote no for this debt ceiling. I never talked about it on this channel because a lot of it is theater, but it should be discussed. So because they've effectively they destroyed us even more. So let Byron Donalds talk.
And let's be very clear about why. This bill, where there's a lot of work that's gone into it, cuts $12 billion in the first year for what is estimated to be a $4 trillion raise. In my mind, that's just simply not enough in spending cuts to justify that amount of debt on the American people, on our country. And so I think that at this point, looking at this bill, I just can't support it. There are other pieces of this measure which I think just simply don't do enough. We could talk about the administrative pay-go that was put in there that the OMB director has the ability to waive. CBO's now come out with a report saying that some of the SNAP benefits are actually going to expand the program because of new eligibility standards in there. But at the end of the day, this bill cuts about $12 billion, and it actually sets into place the spending caps for the administrative state in a post-COVID world at post-COVID levels. I just think that's not where the American government should be, and it's not reflective, in my opinion, of the priorities of the American people.
Now, if you would have saw his last video when he was really talking about it with the other congressman, he was going off. Hold on a second. Let me see if I could find it because I thought that he did a good job because he explained it so well. He was saying, basically that here it is. I'm gonna let him do the talking.
To the American people, Washington is doing it again.
Can't hear it.
While you were celebrating Memorial Day, all of our men and women who gave their lives for this great nation, and you were spending time with your family and your friends, this town was cutting another crap deal that's going to put you more in debt with no real changes whatsoever. So the American people need to understand full and well, do not listen to the talking points. Do not listen to the cool phrases that are being thrown out in commercials on CNN or Fox or MSNBC, because Washington is lying again. This bill has no cap in raising the debt, just a date in the future. We have no idea what that number is going to look like. Some people are saying $4 trillion. Some people are saying 3.5 trillion. This bill in year one might cut $12 billion if you just want to be generous. So who here thinks it's cool to cut $12 billion in exchange for $4 trillion?
So let me pause him right there. So you heard what he said. If you didn't hear it clearly, because this one, it's a little low, he said that it doesn't, there's no cap. There's a possible cap on the debt ceiling, but they don't know when. You know, sometime in the future. Maybe we'll see when we feel like putting a cap. So so there's no ceiling. Okay, there's no ceiling. All right, okay. And then possibly, you know, they can cut 12 billion. They've given Joe Biden all the money he wants to give to Ukraine. Our inflation is going to go straight to Ukraine. You know, that's what it is. The robbery that's taking place tonight, it's extraordinary. It is extraordinary. I'll have to look at the bill to see what's going on inside the bill. They didn't. He goes further, and he says that the 87. Remember the 87,000 IRS workers, whatever, employees that they were going to hire. So this bill was going to fund them, which is so ironic because that came out under another bill. So then why is this bill funding them? I don't know, but we just keep taking out more money. And so those 87,000, they were saying we need to take that out of the bill. We need to take it out, you know, because the American people don't need 87,000 IRS agents on their back because we're the ones struggling, right? So, and they want to watch your every move. That Cash App that you keep getting, you know, that $50, $60 Cash App, they'll say, what are you running a business? What's going on? They effectively can get into your bank account, you know, all of that. They're watching our every move. And it's us, as if they're not sucking out more money from us. Like every day with inflation, they need to go back and make sure that you're paying enough taxes that, you know, like Harry-To says, $600 Venmo tax. Yup. You got to pay taxes on your Cash App. So this is why people need to focus on policies and what's going on, because, you know, I know a lot of people who have hair braiding businesses and, you know, on the side in their homes, and they get a little bit of money for it, right? Through the Cash App. Well, we need to see how much you get. Don't you notice that Cash App will send you a monthly statement? Well, that's because they're following your payments, your accounts, and they're keeping a record. So when the IRS says, you know, like, oh, well, it doesn't, as long as it's lower than 600 or whatever, we don't care. No, that could change any minute. I read the Inflation Reduction Act bill. I read most of that bill, and they have carte blanche to change rules. They can do whatever they want. So your next thing is to say, oh, that's okay. Well, then I'll just use cash. Just give me cash. Just give me cash. And this is where CBDCs is coming. They got it all planned out. Of course, it's not going to be tomorrow, but this is what's happening. This is where CBDCs is coming in. FedNow is launching in July. I always tell people every time, like a lot of times too, when I make the Bud Light videos or whatever, I try to throw that in there. FedNow is launching in July. FedNow is the government website where it'll be a soft launch. And they'll say like, oh, it'll be like just your little wallet. You know, you can put your other stuff in there just to keep everything organized until they come out with the coin, until they finally fully tank the dollar and come out with the coin. I will get back to that because that's also part of just this whole presentation. So today, there's just nothing else to say about it. There's nothing else to say about it. We've been sold out. And the Freedom Caucus is supposed to try to impeach McCarthy, but nobody's going to vote for him to leave. The Democrats certainly aren't going to vote for him to leave. So he's in. I mean, this is what it is, right? This is why I would say we, the people, need to start running for certain things. These career politicians, I feel like I live in a monarchy. A lot of times I do, especially with this war, and we're going to get into a little bit of that too. But it is getting to be too much. It is. I hope people are getting frustrated because they really should. Let me see. Words of Paradise said, so Harry told us up, You are here. What is up, Harry Tell? Where's the paradise? Dude, I got 8 groceries today. $80. 80. Only thing more inflated than the American dollar is Gavin Newsom's ego, right? Right. And don't worry, the American dollar is really trying to like do a push. And oh, I have news coming up about that. I mean, it's extraordinary. Bobby Walls, all that money spent, we're no better off than we were 3 years ago. Crime is getting worse and healthcare is going up. Yes, yes, man. Like, man, I just think about it so much how 2020's election was really the election of, for me in my lifetime, the make or break election. That's what it was for me. It was the deal breaker. And I knew we weren't going to have Donald Trump's second term. I knew it was going to be Joe Biden. I never thought it was going to get this bad. I thought my gas prices would rise. I thought crime would rise, and I thought like what else? A little bit of inflation and the borders. I thought that they would open the borders. I never thought to this extent. I never thought we would be on the brink of World War III. All of it, collapse of the dollar, all of it. What's up, Jeremy? Thank you for coming through. A monarchy would be infinitely more sane than this nonsense, right? And I'm intensely monarcho-skeptic. I know, right? It feels like, even though the monarchy now over in the European nations, I mean, they're just about as crazy as we are, because everybody, again, is obsessed with Ukraine. It's insane. It really is. And we're going to get to that. So there we go with the debt ceiling. And so while everybody is doing this thing on Twitter right now, the Trump DeSantis beef, everybody's so focused on that nobody's paying attention to anything else. So, but I am going to touch on it. I am. But it's like some of it, it's way too early for this right now. And do we have our ballot harvesting set up as a Republican? No, we don't. We don't. But we're focused on Trump DeSantis. But nobody's getting together and putting like some groups together of ballot harvesters. Yeah, let's call it what it is, right? Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? I don't know. But I'm saying it because it doesn't matter. The left Democrats have effectively changed the game on how we vote. We don't like it. We have to play the game, win the game, and then take it back to traditional ways. Although we need to get focused. So let me go ahead and get into this little beef real quick. People are really acting childish about it. Hold on. Let me go back to my bookmarks. Like I said, this is a little recap, catch up. Also, I have not been on here for a while, so I needed to I was getting rusty. So, but my homie Jack Ray, he said, just real quick, breaking the House has raised the debt ceiling. The bill still needs to pass through the Senate and be signed by the president, and it will pass through the Senate, by the way, because the Senate's majority Democrat, and we already got them rhinos. We already got them rhinos, Lindsey Graham's and what's his name, Mitt Romney. So already going through. This will rob struggling Americans even more by spending more money we don't have. Absolutely. Inflation is the biggest tax. Yes. Yes. They keep printing money, but they want it, they have to. They want to tank the dollar. This is what this is. And it's like a big cult. Everybody's in on this. They want to tank the dollar. So we got Laura Loomer. She's going off. Clay Travis is saying something about, excuse me, Laura Loomer, who must have posted something about DeSantis' campaign or whatever. This is strange behavior, Laura. You're hurting Trump with your crazy culture's tweets. I regularly attend candidate events all over the country to hear from candidates in person. Would people rather I not know the people I'm talking about? I've been to Mar-a-Lago several times too. I will support the 2024 Republican nominee, and I'm not endorsing in the primary. So I guess Laura, she do need to calm down. Like, I get it. I get it. I'm just as enthusiastic for Donald Trump. I am, but I know how to present it. I'll present it differently. It is so much of in your face. And I understand that she feels like she's making a point, but there's just a way to do it. You don't get to gaslight me and call me crazy when I catch you doing something unethical. I was at the Four Seasons, and the tickets for this investor meeting were $5,000 a pop, and every attendee in the meeting had to raise $3,000. So I guess this is them coming up with money for DeSantis. You're an investor for DeSantis. Okay, the only strange behavior is coming from people like you who are trying to mislead your listeners and hide what you're really trying to do with Rush Limbaugh's iconic spot. You're a gaslighter. I'm not crazy. I'm just right, and I know. And I know what she means, by the way, when it comes to Clay Travis. I mean, he is obviously DeSantis. I mean, he is, and it's okay. It's okay. Here's my thing: the way people are acting right now, it is just too much. Like the back and forth. Like, dog, we're not even nowhere in this primary for everybody to be just so worked up already. I mean, I'm just as excited, I'm just as enthusiastic. Like I said, I already know who my pick is. I mean, I already do. And I'll get to why. But it has to be done a way where we don't look insane. And there's a lot of people looking insane right now on both sides. A lot of people are looking insane. So let me see. Jeremy makes a great point. For all the DeSantis press complaining about how Trump is acting now, how is this any different than how he acted in 2015? Exactly. Like, like what's going on? Like, thank you. Thank you, Words of Paradise. If anything, he's softer than he was in 2015, in my opinion. Right. So here's the thing. So, and then it goes into this Kayleigh McEnany thing. So we're moving fast, right? So I'll probably be on here for like really just an hour because it is late. We're doing YouTube after dark. So yeah. So let's look at this whole Kayleigh McEnany situation. My God, there's another situation. How do you spell it? Kayleigh has the prettiest name that is so, here we go. But here we go. All right, so here we go. Hold on. Did I share? Nope, I didn't add to the stream. Now I did. All right. So here we go. I like President Trump, but his demeaning attack against his former press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, has me confused. And there they go together. This was back in the day. The good old days. The good old days. We miss the good old days. So before I go, all right, let me see. This is what, so Trump, Trump said, Kayleigh Milquetoast McEnany just gave out the wrong poll numbers on Fox. I am 34 points up on DeSanctimonious, not 25 up. While 25 is great, it's not 34. She knew the number was corrected upwards by the group that did the poll. The rhinos and globalists can have her. Fox News should only use real stars. So this is Trump, right? So, and what did this person say? Let me see what this person said. Trump voters, make no mistake, this is what you get from a malignant narcissist. He thinks this way about his voters and every citizen of the United States. He would throw all of us under a bus if he found it. If he found it convenient, profitable, or even mildly amusing. But he didn't but he didn't do that in his first term, though, right? I'm just saying, listen, I know, I have a little bit of a bias, right? But he didn't do that in his last president's term. He did good things. So I don't know. Here's the thing. Kayleigh McEnany, absolutely amazing. She's a star. She's good. She's great. McEnany was hairy toe, not just fantastic. McEnany was, to me, just brilliant. She was right there when he needed her. She was the reason why I started to really pay attention to what was going on when I was watching the press conferences and stuff, and Kayleigh would start talking. First of all, Kayleigh would come out with this big book, this big Bible. She would place it on the podium, and then she would say, they would be like, well, Kayleigh, she would be like, all right, I'm ready. And then this little girl, this small girl, woman, not a girl, she'd be calling on them. She'd be like, wait a second, wait a minute. All right, now you, okay. And then, of course, they'd be like, Trump said, da, 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 da. He He said, Black people are going to be put back in chains. He said it when they were doing something at a lake or something. She was like, no, no, no. And she was like, no, 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 because hold on. I remember this. I have the transcript right here from 2017. Nope, Donald Trump actually said that. And when I saw her doing that, I was like, yo, who is Shorty? Yo, what's up? Cult Classic Cage, what is up? I was like, yo, who's Shorty? Shorty bad. I'm like, I've never seen. She had all her references straight to the point. She was great. She was what he needed, because Trump would get he would talk, but they would come at him so much that he would get angry and enraged. And some of it was, I can understand. But Kaylee would come out first, and she would answer the questions in a calm and clear, concise manner. It's because of Kaylee McEnany that I heard of Sequoia Turner in Atlanta, who ended up getting a child who was ended by, some gangster outside that was rioting for Black Lives Matter confusion. And they ended that little girl when she was on her way to Wendy's with her mother to get some food. They were shooting in the air because that's what you do for justice, right? And the little girl lost her life. Not one Democrat ever talked about that little girl, but Kaylee McEnany talked about that little girl. And while I could sit here and give Kaylee all the praises, I understand that neither one of them owe each other anything. Yeah, the post, maybe it was a little corny. That's what he does. It's a business. Here's the thing. Before Trump apparently became president, I've seen so much footage of her talking trash about Donald Trump. And then, of course, Laura Loomer's like, she's always been fake. Look what she said. I was probably saying the same things in 2015. So I don't think that's a crazy thing. And then even after that, somebody said to me, well, why? Somebody said, why did he even hire her? Because she's good. Even when she was talking trash about him, she did it in a clear and concise manner. He saw her talent, raw talent, and he brought her on the team. That's how you should think. It's not about, you hurt my feelings, I'm not going to work with you. We have bigger things to do. We have bigger fish to fry. And who knows? Maybe if he becomes president again, we don't know. We might see her again. I could see it happening. It's not that big of a deal. Kaylee will be fine. I don't think she's even worked up about it. She probably laughed. She probably did. But this is just what happens, right? This is just what happens. But this is, for me, right? So let's get back to Trump and DeSantis. Then we're going to end off with the baseball player who basically gave up his balls for the LGBTQ situation. But before we get there, I had to bookmark this comment that this lady made. I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm sure she's really, really nice. Hold on. Beth. I'm sure she's really nice. But the morning station that I listened to, Chris Segal Morning Show on AM 990, The Answer, he was saying, people need to stop saying that they want DeSantis because they don't want Trump. He was like, that's not a reason. Tell me why you want DeSantis. So she says something very nice. DeSantis has continuously stuck to his guns and fought for conservative principles. He bucked Fauci clearly early on. No, he didn't, but whatever. Kept Florida open, offered jabs for those who wanted it, but didn't mandate it. He sent illegals to Martha's Vineyard, took on the left's culture war, which I believe brought attention to the culture issue, and ignited conservatives' fight. He can take on the media and the left in a polished presidential way. And most importantly, he punches up, not down. And isn't that beautiful? I think that's beautiful. Those are some really, that's some really, really great traits that she says. So those are some very nice things. I have nothing to say against that. He did some of that because he didn't buck Fauci, though. I hate when people say, I'm sorry, I do have to get into it. Sorry. I'm trying to be diplomatic, but I just hate when he stood up to Fauci. Why? Because he didn't mandate the jab. He's not the only person who didn't mandate the jab. Nobody stood up to Fauci because people come at Trump for not standing up to Fauci. Nobody stood up to Fauci. Fauci's still nice and free making his money when that's not what he should be doing. Fauci, I don't even like to get into it, but nobody stood up to Fauci because people accept that jab into their state. So I just, we need to stop saying that. Secondly, so here's the thing that I don't get excited about when people say, and he'll do it in a presidential manner. I don't think people understand what's going on out here. So, I understand why people say that. Presidential manner, we're tired of all the bickering, the back and forth, and look how he acts. And it's funny because I heard that in 2015 and 2016. That was never my issue with Donald Trump about, president, he doesn't do things in a presidential way. He doesn't act like a president, because I absolutely hate when people say things like that. People used to say that about me as a nurse. Oh, you don't seem like a nurse. You don't act like a nurse. It's like, what the hell? What does that mean? I get my work done. All my patients are happy and I'm smiling. So I'm a little confused as to what is act nursey. I don't know what that is. And so that I never did like that comment. But the thing is, y'all, here's the part that nobody wants to talk about too much, is this Ukraine war that we have going on, this war that we're in with Russia. They can call it proxy all they want, but we are in a war with Russia. And I don't care what anybody says, we are in a war with Russia. I have some footage of Colonel Douglas McGregor talking about that. And so all of that stuff people are saying is nice. DeSantis definitely is bringing attention to the culture issue, with all of the stuff that's happening with DEI, ESG, and all that. He is, but we have also boxed him into that person, and he's boxed himself into that person too. Because when they ask him about the war, he goes into, well, our military is too focused on climate change and ESG, and that's not what I'm asking you about. Okay. I get what you're doing with Disney and everything. It's very important. I'm glad you're doing it. We need you to do things like this, but that's not what I'm asking you about. Outside of that, where are we going to be in the geopolitical sphere? Because right now we are tanking. We are flopping. We are floundering. Nobody wants to deal with America. Nobody wants to deal with America at all. Okay. But even when Trump was president, and for all of his not presidential ways, he went to North Korea. He knew he had to be diplomatic. He knew he had to do peace through strength. He was buffing up the military system. I don't think that our military should be weak at all, because we need something to defend our borders. I don't know what's going on with them now, but so I get it, so trading, he wanted to work with certain countries, but also still speak a little braggadocious and keep it unpredictable, right? Okay. Today we're floundering, right? And so I want to know, has anybody, nobody talks about DeSantis foreign policy. Foreign policy is so important because here we are. Let me show you my guy, Colonel Douglas McGregor, who, first of all, is the G of all G's. I hope to meet this man one day, and I don't say that about too many people. I was looking at climate scam. I could go on for days about everything that I was looking up at. Here we go. So, all right, just to set the tone, we already know Russia has liberated Bakhmut. They're calling it Akiyamos. I have to get the name, because that's not the name that they're calling it. But they liberated it. This battle in Bakhmut lasted I think, what was it? Almost a year, 9 months. And they finally took it over, and they were fighting a war of attrition. They were saying send the soldiers and we're going to have to end them. And it's sad, right? There's a lot of bloodshed in Ukraine for nothing. And they were getting soldiers. Ukraine was recruiting soldiers, recruiting regular men, you work at the market, now you're going to be a soldier. I never shot a gun before. Well, you're going to learn how to do it today. You're going to learn how to do it for Ukraine. What is this? Okay. All right. Let's listen to what Colonel Douglas McGregor says, because you would think after such a big thing has happened, America would be like, you want to know what? Let's fall back. They're not going to fall back, but let's just.
And I think that it's a response to us. Every time the Russians have evinced any interest in a negotiation of any kind, we've refused it categorically.
He's talking about the Minsk agreements. We had supposed to be peace deals between Russia and Ukraine, but when they thought it was real, we were here trying to beef up Ukraine's army.
We've presented ultimatum after ultimatum. and insisted that unless the Russians pull out of Ukraine completely, not just Ukraine, but the new borders from 1957, which were never Ukrainian, and then ultimately humiliate themselves and bow down and beg for forgiveness, there can be no peace. I think Putin and his colleagues have finally come around to understanding this reality. I don't think they wanted to believe it. It's true. So if it is true, and you take, for instance, the recent announcement where President Biden said, well, we should send the Ukrainians ATACMS. These are the Army Tactical Missile System that reaches out 200 miles. Still delivers a relatively small warhead, but it's nonetheless a good-sized warhead that can do a lot of damage. We said from the beginning that we were not going to provide these kinds of long-range strike weapons to the Ukrainians. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to do it. If you are a Russian and you're listening to this and watching this, you reach the inevitable conclusion that we are escalating. Every time we make an announcement, every time Biden speaks, the war escalates. Remember, if you go back to the beginning, we're not sending tanks. We're not going to send any aircraft. Whatever we do send is going to be for defensive purposes. All of that is gone, and everything now is one-upsmanship. We're going to send F-16s. Of course, the F-16 is useless without AWACS and a significant ground infrastructure, but suddenly we're going to send F-16s. Pretty soon somebody's going to say, send F-15s, I suppose. And oh, by the way, now we're going to send ATACMS that reach out 200 miles. And Putin has said, well, if you listen to his comments just within the last 24 hours, where he talked about the recent strike on the military intelligence headquarters in Kiev, that was struck, I think, either by an Iskander missile, tactical ballistic missile, or Kinshal missile, killed large numbers of people, destroyed the entire headquarters. And I think it killed probably several NATO officers, about which we're hearing nothing. And that's something we should hear about. We should know the truth. If Americans are dying over there, along with Frenchmen and British and other officers, then for God's sakes, tell us. But they're not going to, obviously. But Putin has said, well, we've often talked in the past about hitting the quote unquote decision centers. Well, now they will. And Russian intelligence has always known where everything is. You cannot.
So real quick, this week, I saw this thing where it's like, oh, Russia's attacking schools in Kiev. And, oh, look at Russia's the terrorists. They're attacking. No, Ukraine places weapons, or maybe America's one, I don't know, in places like schools or hospitals or whatever. They're not supposed to do that. They've been doing that for a long time. But they make it seem like, oh, the lies that are told by the media. I'm not saying any of it is good. I'm saying, tell me the truth.
Not hide from this overhead surveillance. They've got the equivalent to the National Security Agency and the equivalent of the CIA. They can see everything and hear everything. So now they can systematically go after all of these headquarters filled with the so-called decision makers. I think that's just the beginning. And now we're being told, well, we're going to have to hold the line in Ukraine until the Russians retreat. Well, the Russians aren't going to retreat. They're going to roll up everything to the Dnieper River. They're going to retake Kharkov and Odessa. They're going to pause one more time. And then if nothing happens, they're going to move all the way to the Polish border and Romanian border.
Okay.
But if you're going to do that, what do you need to do in advance? What Prigozhin outlines. So we've succeeded now in pushing the Russians to the brink of national war mobilization. Congratulations. That's what everyone in Europe wants. They want 2 million Russian troops on their borders. Right? And this is the great gift of President Biden and our friend Lindsey Graham and a host of other fools who don't know what they're talking about, who have put us in this very tenuous position.
What makes it a little funny is none of it is funny, right? But when sometimes you just don't know what to say, and you're just like, like, because you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. The people who are leading this country have put us in a crazy position. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Okay. Since 2008, I think we've been since before then, I'm sure, but we've been meddling in Ukraine, causing problems, causing you like inside like altercation crises, all kinds of things, funding little groups that were bothering the civilians over there. Okay, and finally there was basically a coup in 2014 that took out the legitimate president, and then of course what did they do? They placed their puppet. Here's the thing about me. Let me just tell you about myself real quick, right? So people talk about intersectionality. You know, the left intersectionality. I'm a Black woman. I'm intersectionality. There's really something to that a little bit though, but it's not a victim thing, right? I am American. I'm a natural born American of Haitian descent. So I love my country, but in order for me to be a real patriot, I have to be honest with the stuff that our establishment does. And it is so much in your face. It's just sick and terrible. These last 3 years or 2, 3, whatever, have been insane. Like, you have to take it in doses almost because they keep you on a ticker tape and then they're doing things behind your back. So we've aggravated this war. Yes, we have, because even, who is it? Joseph Borrell, the European Union leader or whatever, one of those people, he said that the war stops when we stop funding Ukraine. Who funds Ukraine more? It is America. It is America who funds Ukraine more. And Donald Trump talked about it. Now, so like the man said, so all of a sudden America's calling for like this freeze of the war. We're going to freeze let's do a freeze. Let's do a halt after. First, we're going to do a counteroffensive. Ukraine is going to do a counteroffensive to Russia. What are y'all talking with? Who? Who's left to do that with? I don't know. And so we're going to freeze the war, okay? And then we'll go back to, Russia's not trying to hear all that. And while they're, quote, freezing the war, they place certain missiles in strategic areas. And of course, like he said, they have them placed in Poland. They have them placed in Romania. So then what happens, right? So now, of course, when the man has to effectively send his military over to these countries, we are now in World War III, right? Because they're going to say, oh, Russia's going crazy. They're all of a sudden attacking Romania. They have nothing to do with this. What did you put there? Y'all are putting missiles all around me. Come on. We would do it too. We should do it too, right? It is insane. It is insane. It is insane. Let me go to the chat and see what everybody's been talking about. And I still have a little more to say about that. I have watched this war obsessively since the day I heard, back in February, like the 2nd or something, when I heard Russia's acting up, they might get on the borders of Ukraine. And I'm like, how do y'all know that? What, they called you and told you that? Why do they want to do this? What's going on? What did you do to make them want to do this? Not because they're innocent, but listen, I haven't heard them doing anything any different than what we do. So I don't know. So let me see. Okay, this is still talking about, I guess, Kitty McEnany and stuff. Hold on a second. McEnany pointing the finger up and opening the book. It was hilarious. Yes, like she was like, hold on, and then go back to the book. I'd use Ted Cruz as an example of someone who Trump has rebuilt a strong working relationship with, but how he's been talking this week has been tragic. A lot of words. It absolutely has. It has been tragic. Yes, Ted Cruz is mad at Uganda. This law in Uganda that has Americans all emotional and confused. Listen, that's over there. They don't want the homosexuality. And guess what? Middle East been doing stuff like this. They say if we catch you doing homosexual acts, you will go to jail. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but everybody's saying, oh, you're going to get the death penalty just for being a homosexual in Uganda. No, they want to get the death penalty for what they call aggravated homosexuality. What is aggravated homosexuality? Doing homosexual acts with minors, disabled people, unconscious people, and also knowingly giving out HIV. I'm not, when it comes to pedos, I guess that's something I need to work on as a Christian, but whatever happens, happens. I'm confused. And Ted Cruz says this is a horrible law. And what does he say? We're not going to give them the aid. Uganda doesn't want the aid. They know what comes with the aid. People are ready. They're done with us. They're done with us. And while we keep focusing on Ukraine and being bullies, other countries are like, yo, I'm good. Russia showed us that we could do it. They could do it without you. So can we. And we're going to align with them. This is not what America's supposed to be. Crazy. But back in 2018, they were an example of a strong team with rough interpersonal history, right? So current events aside, it stands. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, everybody gets so worked up. But yeah, 990, AM 990, The Answer, is set in Pennsylvania. I mean, they're in Delco, but you can stream it. Crystal Gall Morning Show. I absolutely love listening. I would check out the Todd Herman show. Yeah, as if nurses aren't regular people. I know, yeah, but you guys see how I am. Like, I'm very personable. I don't get worked up and everything. So like when everybody would get worked up at work, like, oh my God, this is happening, that's happening, I'd be like, all right, it's happening. Like, let's get it done. You don't act nursey, whatever the hell that means. Yeah, Ukraine can't win, but I knew they couldn't win. But that's the point. It's for us to get involved. We will eventually be in there. We will, you know. And like you said, Harry, we will be there. We will be there. So let me see. Metalopolis said, so wait, real quick. Jeremy, so you said you're in a minority that thinks that the fear of nuclear war is vastly overblown. I understand why you say that. I do understand why you say that, because I've heard people say that. It's not the necessary nuclear war that I'm so, you know, like concerned. How do I say? It's not that I'm afraid of nuclear war, because I do believe the Bible prophecies, like, man is not going to destroy the earth. God will come back and just burn it up because we did too much. But it's still the inflationary, everything else that comes with this, like just everything. We do not need to be in a war right now, and we're not tactical. And the people who are running our military, Ron DeSantis is right. They're focused on things that don't matter, and our recruitment sucks. And of course it does. Of course it does. You know, and it's a shame. The people who are there, who sacrifice and all, and you know, still very brave people. I thank them for their services, because that's a very brave act to enlist, you know, enlist in the military, or what, you know, all of the forces. To say that you're going to do that, that's a very brave act. I think they forced Trump's hand with the jab, and he assumed Fauci was an expert on pandemics. Yeah, I mean, because that's usually how it goes. Thank you, Metalopoly. Trump wanted to get America moving again. His mistake was trusting the wrong people. He knows better now. But the thing is, the jab, but people wanted the jab, right? I didn't want it. But he's not only the president of Casey, right? People say, oh, his base didn't want the jab. He's not only a president of his base. He had to do the dip. I never understand why people just always only put it to him, because I know it's a different kind of jab. Don't get me wrong. That jab is something else. But if we want to talk about jabs, we should really go back to 1986, when carte blanche was given the jabs, where they said that jabs are unavoidably unsafe, and it is what it is. Okay. So now there's no liability for whatever jab that's made. So, you know, I did not know that, a common idiot. So Matt, yo, did you see Mexican cartel got a hold of U.S. equipment from Ukraine? What a joke. I didn't know that, but I know that's happening. I know that our equipment has actually been found in places in Africa, places that are having their own little civil wars. And then they find our equipment that's helping these places have their civil wars and all that. And then they're getting, I can't remember which country it was, if it was Zimbabwe or something. And they were like, you know, what's going on? People, they need to get control of these weapons, because it's already bad enough we have this conflict in our country, and then we're finding American weapons. Yes, because it's being sold on the black market, and we are being robbed of our money while they take the money, buy the weapons, sell it on the black market, come back, find it again, turn it around, and guess what? It goes in their pocket. What I want to say, I can't say on YouTube, but I just can't wait for the American people to just get extra mad one day. Okay, so and let me see. Yeah, thank you, Metalopoly, and shout out to Metalopoly, everybody, for coming through. Ukraine has been arresting priests, shutting down churches, and arresting journalists for telling the truth. Yes. What is his name? Oh my God, I forgot his name. There's a journalist, and if somebody remembers his name, who just got arrested in Ukraine. And when they asked the American, who was it, Justin Kirby, one of them, what are we going to do about that? You know, is American arrested in Ukraine? Well, we don't know yet. We don't want to talk about it. Wow. Mind you, You know, our money is funding that. Oh, they have a kill list too. Jimmy Dore's made it to the kill list. Anybody who's speaking the truth about this war, Jimmy Dore's in the kill list. I believe Tucker Carlson has made it to the kill list. I'm not sure if Jackson Hinkle has made it there yet. I'm probably on the. I'm sorry, I have to make myself laugh. I'm trying to, because I'm so important. You know, I made the list, y'all. I made the, so, all right. All right. But yeah, but right, Russia may not be good guys, but Ukraine are good guys either. And yes, the thing you said about the churches, I did a whole live about it like a few months back, you know. But again, why was America getting involved? Mike Pompeo went to Ukraine and switched out their Orthodox church, started new churches. Why are we? What's going on in Ukraine? So there's a lot going on in Ukraine. Let me see what else. Let me see. Metalopoli says, what I don't get is why America's paying 90% supports Ukraine where all of Europe should be. Yeah. And that's what Trump said. We're paying $170 billion. Why are we as a nation doing the same thing to Russia that we complain about Palestine? And I don't know why we complain about Palestine doing anything. And they are, but listen, all I know is there was a situation. No, I'm not ready to get into that just yet. But you know, I just think that Balfour Declaration, we need to discuss that on this channel. But you already know how I feel. But yeah, we do the same things though, by the way. We do anything we complain about, we're doing it. Okay, who's this? Jason. Hold on. I haven't seen you yet. Oh no, Jason was on here before. My bad, Jason. No, I think I seen you on Hypnotics chat, not mine. We are super lucky that an accidental nuclear war didn't go down. There were lots of opportunities. Absolutely. We put nuclear wars in Ukraine. Nuclear wars. We put missiles in Ukraine. There's nuclear missiles and all that. What all these missiles, they're just in Ukraine in the right in the middle of the war zone. I reported on that too. This is what we do. That place is worse than damn. They just do whatever with Ukraine, right? And again, Russia's backyard. We wouldn't stand for it. We wouldn't stand. We would if we knew. I know we wouldn't stand for it because I think the same thing was getting ready to happen in Haiti. But if you flip it as Russia doing that in Haiti, and it got ended. Okay. So, yep, but we misplaced $3 billion, and the eggs are still $8 a carton. The Republican, what's up, backyard farmer? Thank you for coming through. The Republicans wanting to give Ukraine additional money is money that will land in their opponent's campaign. It'll land in theirs too. I just feel like the people who are working who are our elected officials, I feel like a good 80% of them, they're all on the same playing field. They're all on the same ball game. What's up, Metalopoly? What's going on? Yeah, lots of leftovers were in Afghanistan as well. Yeah, that's right. That sick departure in Afghanistan, the one that I knew was going to happen. You know why? Because when Trump made the deal for us to finally get out of Afghanistan, the Taliban told Trump, you have to have them out by May 25th. For whatever reason, probably something religious or whatever. I'm not saying what happened was right. Trump told Joe Biden, you must have them out by May 25th. Don't prolong it. They have to be out by that time. Joe Biden all of a sudden one day says, oh yeah, we're going to get them out in September. On just for no reason. I was like, something bad's going to happen. And it did. Terrible. Just terrible. It is just terrible. But, it's just really terrible. Yeah, okay, I read that one. And to end off like that part of it, because I still want to talk about this baseball player. So who you just saw there was Colonel Douglas McGregor. This is why I've always wanted the second term of Donald Trump. This is why I say DeSantis is great, but running a country is not running Florida. Okay. Colonel Douglas McGregor came on the Trump team late in the game. And I mean, late in the game, probably because he was getting ready to have him on for the second term. He came on in November of 2020, or maybe October. And so he started to work out the stuff, the paperwork, to start pulling our troops from places like Syria, because we have sitting duck troops in Syria. And they're like sitting ducks, okay? Because there's a lot of rapprochement happening around there. And then we just have American troops just there. So he started to work up all this paperwork, and he was getting a lot of pushback from generals and everything. But he was like, I think he gave him the job, I think, as was it National Security Advisor? He was one of his advisors. And Colonel Douglas McGregor knew what to do. He's so well-rounded. Like, he sees things for what it is, but he's not going to say like, oh yeah, our military is terrible. He's like, no, he's a patriot. He's a military man. He believes in, fighting for his country, but he understands when his country oversteps. He understands what we need to bring back in. And he thinks about other people's countries, like in a sense that we can't tell people what to do. We can't tell people how they need to live, and all of this regime change that we keep trying to do. He would talk about it in honesty. And so he was working with Trump. And there was a report that came out in December, excuse me, of 2020. On Trump's way out, he started firing a lot of people in the army, and they called him crazy. They said Trump has lost his mind because he lost the election. He's crazy. He's just firing people, for no reason. And I knew what it was. Those people were lying to him. When he would come and say, like, I need to pull this many troops out of wherever, like Syria, wherever, they would be like, oh, well, you can't pull 20 troops. We only have 5 in there. Like, obviously, I'm making up numbers. And then they went on some sort of like magazine article, some interview, and they were talking about it, and they were laughing about it. Yeah, we lied to him. Ha, ha, ha. So he came back and he started firing people. Of course, the mainstream media said Trump went crazy and he was firing people. Trump took us out of the WHO. Yeah, took us out of the WHO. He took us out of the Paris Accords. We would have been here plugging up green. We would have already been plugging up electric cars and blowing out our electric grid. He took us out of that. And I remember when he did that because everybody thought he was crazy. And it's funny because I didn't see what the big deal was necessarily. And that's why now I wasn't even like, I didn't know much of all of this stuff that was going on at that time. And Trump was, I don't give a but he was going to pull us out of NATO. And he was. And Douglas McGregor, because who was it? I think Jackson Hinkle said, like, I would give anything for Trump to come back just to bring Colonel Douglas McGregor back on the team. Because at the end of the day, that man complained about NATO so much. He never had a good thing to say about it. And I think that he would have took us out. And that would have been good. I'm sorry. We can have allies a different way. We could have we could have allies a different way. Through trade, aid. I understand the aid, but not in the sense of aid where you have to take my cultural policies with it too. Also, I'm not going to give you aid if my country isn't making money and getting money. We aren't drilling at home and we don't have affordable energy or even affordable eggs, right? So, but we can have allies, but we don't need to be, and to me, in some sort of big organization. So I get it. That's what needs to be done. So I go back and I say to DeSantis, people who are ready for DeSantis, what does his foreign policy look like? I can tell you that it's not. Good night, Harry Toe. Thank you so much for coming through. I could tell you that it's nothing like Donald Trump's, because he was asked a question about Ukraine, and I have a video coming out about that. I do. So look out for that tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna put it out tomorrow morning because it's already edited. So it'll be out tomorrow morning, and you'll see his reaction. You'll see how he talks. He's very nervous. He's no. So for me, no. Let me just see. Salty Butterbags. 500 troops were deployed to the Congo about 2 years ago. That story has been radio silent since. I didn't even know that happened. I will check it out too. I will check it out. Why are we in the Congo? What is going on? What are we stretching out for? Let me see. Metalopolis asking me a question. Casey, have you seen what's been going on in Haiti? The citizens are rising up against the gangs, and the politicians that support them. It's getting really ugly over there. I've seen a little bit of it. And I'm very, motivated and inspired by their movement. They're not playing, but sadly, because I'm such a realist, it does hurt my it does hurt me to say, I don't think it'll go any further than what we see. It's because I know the control that the United States has over Haiti. So if it's getting that bad, they probably let them, carry on for a little bit. But what we probably won't hear is the mercenaries um, that end up, coming, the mercenaries that end up going to Haiti and ending that situation and putting the people back in their place. Let me answer Harry Toe's question. First of all, that is adorable of you. I really appreciate you asking that. Well, we're almost at 1,000, right? But I have to still qualify, like, as far as a certain amount of watched hours. I'm not there yet, so I'm not there. I'm not there yet. We're almost there, but with the upgrade of the channel that I'm working on right now, I will also have like other things that I'm coming out with too. So I can give like product, because I want this to really be like a media business, so, and I'll be talking about that more, but I really appreciate you saying that, Harry Toe. That is very, very nice. I do have a backup Rumble. I'm going to start getting everything organized by my birthday. By June 16, I will be coming out with like all the upgrades and updates about what's going on with That Girl Casey Media. So I do appreciate you asking that question. And to get back to Haiti, I really appreciate you for that. To get back to Haiti, the control over there is real. They keep it chaotic. You have a blessed night, Harry Toe. Thank you. They keep it chaotic over there so that they can go and strip the riches from the land. I mean, isn't that really what we do everywhere? Isn't that what we do everywhere? So it's a shame, because when I say we, it's our establishment, but this is not what the people are, man. This is not. I had somebody from the Middle East say, "Oh, your country, what they've done to my people," and I said, "Listen, man, it's not me. It's not us. It's our establishment, the citizens. We need to get more of us in our government, and that's just what I want. I wish it could be like an overhaul of we the people, regular folk, truck drivers and nurses and farmers and stuff running the government. Yeah, yes, because right now they're taking advantage of us. They're taking advantage of us. Y'all are cracking me up on this chat. Hold up. I can't even get to the cultural thing yet. Jeremy says, no matter what happens to any third world country, you can bet that Sean Penn will feel himself. I know. Sean Penn, these Hollywood actors, these stars, they're so borderline and narcissistic. They don't know what to stand for. They feel, I'm privileged, and so I have to fight for something. Okay, that's fine, right? That's fine. You want to balance yourself out. I appreciate that, because I always say, people always want to fight for something that's bigger than them. That's cool. But do your research, please, and fight on the right side. Don't just take talking points. Come on. Let me see. So Salty Butterbag said, we also redeployed, hundreds of troops to Somalia. Matter of fact, I saw an interview with a representative from Somalia talking to Jimmy Dore, and she was saying the only time we had peace in our country, she was like, literally was the 4 years when Donald Trump was president. Backyard Farmer, thank you so much. Says Tony Matter, thank you. I really appreciate that. And then Word said, Casey gonna be celebrating her birthday, and everyone gonna ask if it's June. Like, yeah, it's still a thing. And guess what? People who want to celebrate it, that's their thing. I try not to make it it's either Juneteenth or July 4th. You can do whatever you want, right? Never been my thing. And Judge Joe Brown, if you guys ever see Judge Joe Brown on Twitter, who's the judge who has way more going on than some Twitter. He's an older black man, and he keeps it real. He says, because it was some Juneteenth celebration where black folk, of course, was dancing and everything, and then he was looking at it, shaking his head. He was like, look at him. I was just shucking and jiving. They dancing for something that shouldn't have happened in the first place. It's like, so I never understood, and I hate the name of it, Juneteenth. And my friends are the same way. Like my one friend, she's like, don't it just sound like slavery? Like, I'm gonna go down to the Juneteenth to go get my watermelon. I don't care. My throat is like, my voice is going, but it's just hilarious. Yeah, no, I'm not a Juneteenth person, but June 16th, that's the best day. Jim, I feel like I could just talk to y'all. No gay people are more important than, yeah. Now gay people are more important. I think you meant to put now, more important than black people. That's the word on the street. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, that's a whole nother lie. It also seems to be the case that the right never really had a problem with Juneteenth in the first place. They didn't. So it wound up being used as they didn't before though. That's why when everybody was doing this infighting about, it's fighting, I know July 4th is my and all this. I'm like, what are y'all doing? It's not that deep. The people want to have Juneteenth, that they want to have Juneteenth. The people who say Juneteenth is going to take over July 4th, they never had the power to do it anyway. Black folk don't have that kind of organization and lobbying money to make that happen. Okay, so y'all, that was never happening. Sometimes we just get caught up. Hungary has done that. The farmers got sick of WEF agenda and created their own part. Yeah, I heard about that. Was it Hungary though? And they wanted to control it. I think though it was Norway, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was Hungary because the Hungarian prime minister over there, I hate that, Orban. He's not really with too much of the globalist stuff. So I think it was Norway because I remember they were the ones having the issues with the farmers. All right, y'all. Okay, y'all chit chatting, and let me see one more thing. I'd rather people celebrate Juneteenth than something like Kwanzaa. At least it's based on a real thing. It was actually good, and right, and like and that's another debate. I hate that debate. Kwanzaa. They didn't grow up celebrating Kwanzaa. Like my best friend comes from like a very pro-black family. Not pro-black in the way of we were victims, no, but just obviously like enriched in their roots and all that. Never. I think she told me that one of the aunts tried to make them celebrate Kwanzaa one time, and that was it. Like I'd never met anybody celebrating Kwanzaa. So I said, "You're Haitian, you and I." No, I'm American. I know. I act like I live in Haitian rock. I know people never seen anybody celebrate Kwanzaa ever. I hated when Kamala Harris was like, "I remember when I was a kid, and we would go around the Kwanzaa. What she said, the Kwanzaa." Lights, whatever. We would talk about the gifts, and I'm like, Kamala, you're Jamaican and Indian. You definitely didn't celebrate Kwanzaa. Get out of here. All right, let's go ahead and go to our baseball player who needed to grow a pair but got too scared, and there he goes. So y'all, let me know in the comments exactly what post this guy made. I think he made some sort of post about definitely something against LGBT or whatever, but I don't know what it was. It's something about Christianity probably. And anyway, he had to do what they have to do.
Post that was hurtful.
Hold on a second.
I recognized yesterday I made a post that was hurtful to the Pride community, which includes friends of mine and close family members of mine, and I am truly sorry for that. I just spoke with my teammates and shared with them my actions yesterday. I apologize with them. And as of right now, I'm using the Blue Jays resources to better educate myself, to make better decisions moving forward. The ballpark is for everybody. We include all fans at the ballpark, and we want to welcome everybody. That's all I have to say.
What a nut, man. Like, what a nut, dog. Like, are you serious? First of all, this feels like a sacrifice. It's like, I'm going to use the resources and I'm going to take an education. Damn, y'all. There's something taking over our country. Hold on, I have to take a sip. Sorry. There's something taking over the country. And something real evil. And this is not... Y'all making me bad. I can't take it. Y'all making me crack up. I was trying to be serious. Now I have to go back. Hostage video incoming. Oh, you're correct. It was Netherlands. My bad. I said Norway. It was the Netherlands. Thank you. I was take a knee. Now bend over. Absolutely. Bro said, I'm going to take a class. The park is for every, and then the eyes were like, I said something wrong. I'm sorry. I was mean. And he was just ready. Like, I mean, let's have fun with it. He might as well have been like I denounce my whiteness. a bad white man. What is going on? Like, what? Wait, what's going on? So Hypnotic says that man is a cuck. He absolutely is. But he's getting railed right now by some drag queen in a whole. No, I thought I'm sorry. I thought this was like some tea you found. I'm like, what, they got that footage on Twitter? No. This guy really is the embodiment of why this country is going to hell in a handbasket. And why I say to a lot of white people, especially my white men, of course, the white men who I know definitely don't act like this, okay? But if I could meet one that did, I would tell him, please do whatever it takes for them to call you a bigot and a racist so that you can get your country back. Because this cannot go on like this. Like, it can't go on like this. Because this is crazy. Like, y'all saw look at his face. I mean, he's just like, I mean, you could tell he's scared. He's like, nothing like, hold on.
Shared with them my actions yesterday. I apologize with them. And as of right now, I'm using the Blue Jays resources to better educate myself, to make better decisions moving forward.
To make better decisions moving forward. Wow. Like, to make better decisions moving forward. That's just, I mean, tell me that's not like cultish. Like, we're going to send you to a camp. Okay. So you can make better decisions moving forward. What is his name? Provorov. I want to just look at this guy again. Now, this guy, my man right here, was, man. And look, they left him alone too afterwards. God bless him. Hold on, because I want to play this again, because this deserves attention.
Tort says he respects the decision you made. It's for religious purposes.
Hold on, I just want to make sure it's showing on the stream. All right, bet it is.
Tort says he respects the decision you made. It's for religious purposes. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I respect everybody. I respect everybody's choices. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion. That's all I'm going to say.
How do your religious beliefs?
Like I said, that's all I'm going to comment on that. If you have any hockey questions, I would answer those. So,
What is your religion? What is your religion?
Russian Orthodox.
So with the game tonight,
So yeah, I remember, but this guy right here, like Ivan, I said, oh, let me turn on the cameras. I had to go back and make a video. I was like, oh man, this guy is a G. When they tried to do all the, what was it? The NHL was like, okay, we're gonna give you some rainbow jerseys to put on for the Pride training that we're gonna do for Pride Night. What does this have to do with hockey, right? Bro said he didn't say anything about oh, we shouldn't have it. All he said was, I'm just gonna sit this one out, right? He's like, I'm just gonna sit this one out. That's it, right? That's it. Because I know what world I live in. I can't stop your Pride Night, but I don't have to be involved with it. I'm not wearing a jersey. Oh my God, everybody. And then when they said, well, what's your religion? My man turned around and said, Russian Orthodox. They was like, oh, I'm triggered. I remember people going off. You know, the bride is, what did he say? Hockey's for everyone. He never said it wasn't for everyone. Then they said, he needs to go back to his country. I said, damn. Like, oh my God. I was like, oh, wow. That's how you do it, though. That's how you do it. Like you said, Jason, that is exactly how you do it. Stay on point. My man gave him a few words. I'm here to talk about listen, I'm not going against my religion. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going against my religion. What was your religion? Russian Orthodox. After this, I'm only talking about hockey. That's it. I don't have nothing else to tell you. And then the next day, after everything, all these people were like, begging for him to be fired and everything. Like, oh, he needs to go, blah, blah, blah. Didn't his jersey sell out that week? And I know, and it sold out. I wanted to get, I was like, yo, I got to get me one of these jerseys. This man is the truth. I don't watch hockey. I wanted his jersey because of what he stood for me that day. I love it. I love the energy. I love it. Yes, they are coming for, especially if you're a straight white male Christian, forget it. They really want to come for you because you're the bad guy. Anything that comes out of your mouth is bad, bad, bad. No, you say what you mean. You say what you mean. You know, I'll back you up on it because this is America. We have a constitution. And I've said this, even like I said before, when I was a leftist, I don't care if somebody is saying a bunch of stuff about Black people. They have a right to say it, and I have a right not to listen to it. I don't, all of this, we need to keep people safe and all that. I'm not with that. I'm not with that at all. You know, and my man was a G. That other guy, man, they need to really, I don't even know what else to say. Is it worth it? You know, is it worth it to just give? I'm just going to say this. If I was in like that kind of a limelight, like I was some big movie star, or I was like, you know, anything like that, making music, whatever. And they said to me, well, now you got to promote the queer this. And when you go out, you need to wear this rainbow flag. I would say no, obviously. And then they would say, well, you're going to lose your money. I take my money and flip. I would just know going in like, this is only for a short time. I'm going to enjoy it, but I have to stay true to myself. Let me get this money, buy a couple farms out west, and get a trucking company. So when the day comes that they ask me to do something that goes against my beliefs, my values, my word of God, right? I got to go, right? That's how it has to be. That's the only way we get this. We do. It has to be us, right? To stand up and say, enough. You know, you could be who you want to be. You could be who you want to be, but you cannot destroy society and try to force society to see things your way. We're at the point where these people are saying, don't believe your eyes. Even if that man has a big beard and he's big, if he says he's a woman, and that's all it meant. Absolutely not. Society should not have to turn what they know, their common sense around just to fit you. That is unstable. That's unstable. We know what it is, though. It is really for control. It is for control. And it's also to bring the shrooming, the pedo situation. This is the catalyst for that. That's what it is. I can't take, there's a really facing his back. Yes, backyard farmer, he is a coward. You heard it here, folks. Casey advocates for us white people to start using that. Yeah, I'll do my part, but I need some help. Using the hard R. I'm actually very serious about that. I am, to the point where I was thinking about for my birthday, like making a song. There's a song by Trinidad James called Gold All in My Chain. And then they say that word like a lot. And so I don't really like saying the word that much. I don't. But I was like, I should make a video and then like have like some white people with me, like we're dancing and singing to the song. I'd be like, this is my happy birthday to y'all. Just wake up the First Amendment again. Of course, I don't have any ownership on the word, but anybody could say whatever they want to say, right? It looked like a Maoist struggle session. Yeah, I saw somebody else tweet and say that too. All he did was support the boycotts and stand up for Christians. He's a cop. Yes, you see, you know what I mean? You got to be ready. It can't be superficial. You have to know what you're standing up for. You do. For me, it goes back to the creator. It has to, because at some point, you break as a human on your own, you know? Jeremy says, someone made a point on Timcast yesterday that he's in Canada. So he might actually, okay. Yeah, so he might actually be facing down prison time, making hypnotic even more correct. Wow. I see what you meant there. Yeah, Canada is you can't say, see the control of speech? Wow. Well, and then, like you said, still should have stayed strong. It's worth prison time to oppose the stuff, but it's an understandable fear. So that's the thing. So to round us up, and again, it always, when you say white, okay, Jeremy's asking me a question. When you say white, do you mean Nordic, Germanic, Celtic, Slavic, Iberian, Frankish, Norman, Hellenistic, Italian, Gaelic, Welsh, which absolutely is something else, Caucasian, I just say white people. I don't know, okay? Like, don't do that to me. Like, I know that there's, please, I'm Black and Haitian, right? I'm a Haitian Black girl, right? So I try, I know that there's different white, but I just say white, right? But of course, no, all jokes aside, I don't know if y'all know, like I respect all cultures. I have white friends. No, I I respect all cultures. Italian, French, whatever. I like to learn about different cultures. Everybody has a culture, So, and I love learning about it. Of course, I like trying out the foods from all the cultures. So, yeah, but we just say white for short, right? Somebody says, I smell angry white woman. Jason Holt. Thanks, Casey. I'll go to Capitol Hill and Tacoma and roll out some hard R's. We'll let you know how it works out. You tell them to call me and tell them that I said it was okay. Yeah, Jordan Peterson did try fighting against Canada's hate speech laws, and people called them fascists. How ironic. Yeah. And they were trying to come for him and take his license because he was saying that he's not going to be referring to people about what he doesn't have to. If he sees a man, the person's a man. There's no normalizing this, by the way. Okay. So to round it up, as a Christian, I have to be compassionate with the truth, right? So I'm not going to walk, when I say compassionate with the truth, I'm not going to walk up to a person with substitution expression. I don't use the word trans too often. And say, you're a boy. You're a boy. You're a man. You man. I'm not going to do that. That's just ridiculous, right? That doesn't get anybody anywhere. But if the person walks up to me and says, you need to refer to me as a woman. No, I don't. I will be kind enough not to use a single pronoun. And that's actually compromising, which I don't need to really do. But I will not refer to you as a woman. Absolutely not. No. How far does that go, right? There will come a time where we'll have to make a strong decision. This is where it's going. This stuff is prophesied. It's where it's going. This is why everything is happening. You see, everything that's happening is all connected. All of a sudden, by the way, all of this like woke brands, all of a sudden, it's not okay. So tomorrow is Pride. What's up, Gorilla Random Thoughts? Tomorrow's Pride, right? But even before that, we saw Bud Light, everybody taking L after L after L. What's going on? They're all going to start doing it. The media also wants to promote this fracture with the American people. Trust me, I love the boycotts. I don't think that you should spend money where you don't feel that it is aligning with your. If it's your choice to not spend money there, I love it. It's great. Now we'll continuously promote them. But I noticed the media is promoting them, the corporate media. Kohl's came out with some sort of, I don't know, Tuckums, their own Tuckums, see? And all of a sudden, before I even heard it on Twitter, the media says conservatives are now looking at a new company to boycott. It's Kohl's. I said, wait a second. Now I didn't see that. I didn't see the call to action here. I never saw that. So where are you getting that from, right? But and Chick-fil-A too. Yeah, that is another one. I said. L after L. But all of a sudden the media is like, oh yeah, here's another one, and then the conservatives are getting. I said, they're promoting the divide. All of it though is sacrifices because they're all gonna tank in the dollar system. They're gonna tank in the dollar system, right? This doesn't mean that you go back and just start buying it just to buy it. No, but I'm just explaining. When they tank in the dollar system, we are also tanking our dollar by being focused on Ukraine. BRICS has a summit coming up in July. They're going to start signing paperwork. They'll be effectively trading in gold and other types of currency. This is what happens when you look like a joke and you try to be a bully at the same time. Okay, so when all of that happens, and we go right to the beast system, I had to call it what it is. CBDC. That now is now launching in July. Now you'll have it's all going to go into a social credit score. So there's a lot of sacrifices that we're watching. It's all for their cult religion. How is it that everybody got up at the same day and said, you know what, I'm going to take an L? There's a reason. There's a reason. It's to already start getting used to pulling out the money, even if they have to crash. There's a reason. It goes back to the beast system, and that's just really what it is. One that I will have nothing to do with. I have to prepare. You know what I'm saying? Like backyard farmer, he's preparing. You know, people are preparing. Get a group of people that you know, that you feel comfortable trading with, bartering with. This is a system you don't want any part of. Seriously, because your social credit score will be in it. I failed, right? If somebody give me a social credit score, I'm already at negative 30. And I'm used to getting in trouble in school anyway, right? And it'll start where they'll make it normal. They'll make it normal. It's just that now you just, just to, organize your paperwork and stuff and just put it here. And no. Next thing you know, you can put your license in here too. They're going to try to force us into this digital living, this digital system. And then when you come and say, I believe that there's still only man and woman, Casey, your mortgage was going to come out the bank. I don't think that we're going to let that happen. Okay. So now is the time for me, like I said, cling to the word of God. That's what I say. I'm not telling anybody, oh, you need to be religious. I'm not saying that. I'm not telling anybody you need to be this religion. No, I'm just saying, no, cling to the word of God, because we are getting ready to see some things that this is nothing compared to what we're going to see. Plus, 2024 is right around the corner. And let me tell you, they're going to keep us so confused with news. I know they are. This ticker tape of news that it's going to feel like overwhelming, but we'll navigate through it. We'll get through it. Like I said, you get yourself a group of people who you trust, who you know, your personal people and your network, and that's why part of this channel too, like part of the upgrading for this channel, I'm going to start doing an email list where one day I do feel like, now I don't know, I'm not saying this year, but one day I feel like I'll come here and be like, let me go live. Wiped out. But at least I'll be able to reach you guys through email. And then the day that I feel like that's getting to be, shut down for us, I will have to mail things to people. I'll just write it down by hand. This is how I think now. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's thinking about what's ahead and not staying paranoid, but having options and being like, okay, there's a possibility this might happen. I didn't say next year either, but we there's a writing on the wall. And now what happened? I just hope Chick-fil-A's commitment to diversity includes serving beef. If they can work magic with chicken, imagine what they could do with burgers. Yeah, even Chick-fil-A has. I mean, I didn't know their CEO was acting like that, bending down and wiping, cleaning shoes of Black people. This has to stop. Stop worshiping the creation, okay? If somebody has a gripe about something that happened back in the past, let them have the gripe. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them anything. If you know you're a good person, you don't owe anybody anything. Good or bad person too, by the way. You don't owe anybody anything. You do. I do believe you have to answer to God, though. But to end it off, let me just go back and look and see what else everybody was saying, because we're about to end off this. Felt like it was something else I was going to say. I used to love Jordan Peterson, but he seems like he moved even further right lately as a result of far left craziness. It's harder to take him seriously. He's not bad. Jordan Peterson is just all over the place. Like, sometimes he should probably get out of Twitter, take a break. He's a Gemini like myself. And I know when he's using his Gemini brain, because he starts to say certain things like, we need to ban any, what he said, somebody used LOL. Somebody used the term LOL, and he said, using LOL just shows a person as a narcissist. I'm like, yo, man, it's not that deep. Jordan Peterson is also still trying to figure out his relationship with God. So he gets a little crazy. He still means well. He gets on my nerves sometimes, but yes, they were taking L after L, but they prepare for these L's too. This is what also we need the parallel economy. We do need the parallel economy in many ways. We do, but we'll figure it out though. That's the thing though. It's not going to be everybody. There's going to be a group of people who are going to figure this thing out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to be okay. Here we are. I mean, in this journey too of just everything with YouTube, with like my awakening in 2020, God snatching my heart back, all of this. I've met all of y'all in the chat. Like if somebody would have told me 5 years ago, I'd be talking to all you cool people on the chat. I'd have been like, what? No, I'll be getting out of work and just making money. That's it. And going shopping and going on trips. I wasn't all the way superficial, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm grateful for everybody that's on this chat right now. Like, it's just a different feeling. This isn't just about, I mean, of course I'm trying to hit certain numbers on YouTube, but it's not just about that for me. Like, I have met so many amazing people along the way. It has actually brought back, like, it's refreshing because it makes me still have faith in humanity. There are good people out here, you know? So let me see. The first Christians stood up for their faith in the face of death. Now Christians, like the baseball player, won't risk his job. I know they want to be comfortable. My pastor talks about that. He says a lot of these Christians want to be comfortable. Most languages are based on masculine and feminine. Yeah, change the language, change the culture. Yeah, that's why they try that Latinx thing. But you know, Spanish people, you know, Latinos and Latinas, they're not picking up on that Latinx. I was like, when I seen that, I was like, y'all, y'all are so narcissistic, and we're just gonna change their culture, but we're not racist. Okay, but we know better than them. Tuckums, adding that to the list of things I wish I never knew about. Okay. This is just look at the world we live in. Look like a joke, try to be a bully at the same time. Narrator, it wasn't a comment about trans, but it was also a comment about I just hope we did say that about the beef. Thank you, Hypnotic. I am almost there. I appreciate that you noticed that. Like I'm almost there. I wish she had moved. If we keep on looking backwards instead of forward, we're gonna trip. That's why we're gonna look forward. We look back though to gain some knowledge. Like, let me see how they did it this time. By the way, this is not the first time these kind of things have happened. Of all people, Vladimir Putin was talking about it. He made a speech and he says what he's seeing happen in the West has already happened in Russia back during there was a time when they were trying to do the whole culture thing and change the language and all that. And he said it failed, and the people went back to a more natural way of their culture and living. I have to look at that speech and and see everything that he said. But this is going to force us back to the natural way of things, and not like boring natural way of things, but it's good. We need to remember the natural way and have real progression, not this fake progression. Oh, I love you too. And then let me see. Jason said, I can't go back to getting information from mainstream media. Okay. Okay. Once they live glasses go on, it's all over. Prefer to enjoy the collapse in good company. I know that's right. Okay. And then Hypnotic says Latinos is the gender neutral term, already designed in our language to refer to all people when there is men and women. Okay, yeah, definitely never no need for Latinx at all. Like that's not even a real thing. Then they exit out. You see what that is? Really, when they exit like that, it's to say like no gender. That's what that is. No gender. You're person. No gender. Man, you gotta get diabolical like they do. You gotta think like them. It's almost scary. You don't want to stay there too long. You don't. You don't. It's freaky. It sounds even worse when spoken like that. Tinks. I say tinks, but they say Latinx, but I say Latinx because I think it should be mocked and shamed that they even tried to do that. It should be mocked and shamed. So that's why I say tinks. I don't take it seriously. So, well, guys, I'm going to thank everybody who came tonight and joined me. I was like going back and forth, like, should I do this? Should I not? I don't know. Da, da, da. I'm so happy I came live with you guys. I'm just so happy. I'm happy how the chat went. Hold on. Somebody always said something else. Like, hey, in the end, it's not about what happens now to us, to the U.S., to any of this, because God would not allow it if it didn't preserve the church. In the end, you're right. Because at the end of the day, that's why I said I'm not too scared. I'm not, because at the end of the day, God is still in control, and only He can destroy the earth, as far as I'm concerned. So, it works. So yeah, guys, I'm going to be signing off. Guys, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for the motivation, the support, for hitting the like button, for everything, just everything, and having this conversation with me and being in good company while everything crashes around us. All right. So I see you guys at the next video. Coming soon. Bye.